Spoilers ahead, fucknuts.
Here come the bros, you know they're always blazing, talking movies, TV, and all the things amazing, from superheroes to sci-fi, comedy galore. Read me with all the content, they never get bored. It's the two bros in a pod show, they're taking us to town. Covering all the things that make us jump and go out. Superhero movies, action and some comedy. Their podcast is the place to be. There to make buddies, never missing a beat. Their witty banter, they make us all complete. From old classics to the newest releases, their honest reviews give us all the pieces.
Spoiled it.
Spoiled it. We return.
Kraven
We're
time.
back. This
Leon-
definitely isn't the second take.
No, it's not.
Totally not.
Totally not second.
Leon, Silas, and Dan return to
Sadly.
another shitty Sony Spider-Man spin-off movie. Or is it?
You're craving it.
Yes. There's the spoiler. Yes, it was shitty.
Yeah.
Or is it? But as always, this is Spoiled It. We have Dan returning. He comes on to review these Sony Spider-Man spin-off movies with us.
The
I might,
expert.
I might be out of the game though. after
Yeah,
this
he might
one.
be out of a job.
We might be free now, guys, because Sony already gave up on Kraven before it even came out.
Yeah. Great sign of courage for this movie.
Yeah, no, like, again, we even talked about it already, and we also talked about it in totally not the first take that we had audio issues in of this episode about how Sony
We don't have those at Two
yeah, no, it
Pros.
doesn't happen. Sony giving up on it, like, before it even came out is
Yup.
like, I don't know, man.
Them
But
projecting
it just
to be
shows
even
how
worse than
stupid
Man
they
Web
are.
and everything like that fucking so early.
Yeah.
You're like, oh.
They're like, oh, we got that new Tom Holland film with Spider-Man coming out with Disney. We'll let Disney do the heavy lifting and just reap the fucking profits because we own Spider-Man still and we're keeping him captive. Even though we haven't,
what a bunch
even though
of-
we haven't made an actual Spider-Man film since fucking Amazing Spider-Man 2. But you know,
What a bunch of fucking parasites.
Yeah. But as always with Spoiled It, we're gonna go into like spoiler territory with this movie. But I think I want to try like with this will be like a test run with this episode too. But basically for Spoiled It's, we're gonna basically going forward, basically be doing Spoiled It's where at the start we give a spoiler-free review and kind of, we do give our review
best as we can,
without avoiding spoilers. And then at the end, we'll let you guys, the crowd, basically go, okay, we're going to go in the spoiler territory or spoiler discussion. And that's when we get more into the very specific spoiler section. So it'll be the same as usual. It's just formatted. We're going to start formatting it in a different way.
if you were gonna give it like straight out of the gate after seeing it that one time, a number rating out of 10, what would you give it?
A number rating?
Yeah,
I would probably, I don't know.
just to set the stage for how we're feeling about this.
3.
God. Yeah,
I
I
was
feel
thinking
like
I was thinking like a 3.5, 4.
I was thinking like a
Yeah, 3.5
probably
probably.
a 4 or
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm usually I'm pretty generous with things. I probably give this a 5 because I think it was.
Yeah, you
honestly-
are really fucking generous.
Yeah,
huh?
Jesus.
I think it's like-
charity work over
I
here.
think it's like some things are so mediocre though. Like when they're at that 5 thing, that's almost like a worse thing. So I don't know. Maybe it is like a 4 or 4.5 because it is like.
It made us laugh.
It made us laugh
Yeah.
exactly.
but
so.
that was like
actually.
unintentional laughter. So does
Yeah.
that make it good?
But it's still laughter. Like that's how I look at it. Like at least if you're laughing, whether or not it's supposed to be making you laugh, you're getting some enjoyment out of it.
Well, it could be those just because it's our first time seeing it. If you see it again, you already know what's going to happen. Would you still laugh?
I would
though
never
at
see it again.
Yeah. Okay.
No,
then.
but I think it's always good to get people's
Not intentionally.
like what they would rate something and stuff though. But like I feel like that's why a lot of the time we don't even give ratings because like me and Simon have talked about a lot of things and maybe he'll give it a 6 and I'll give it a 7 and I'm like I feel like everything we talked about we're basically on the same page with this though. So I think it just comes down to like some
Well, it's
people
how
are
much
gonna
those
have a
things matter
different
to you though.
no, but like everyone's just gonna have a slightly different grading
Different
scale
scale,
too.
yeah.
You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
yeah,
So it's just
Absolutely.
like that's why I like talking about the movies also, and that's why I feel like with a lot of reviews and stuff recently, it's just like people don't talk about like the movie. They just want to give their score
Right.
and everything, and like, no, this is 2 out of 10 and everything. And it's like,
And they don't
why
actually
was it a 2 out of
elaborate.
10?
Yeah.
Yeah, and they don't elaborate.
Well, let me elaborate.
Yeah.
So, where I
yeah. Why
came-
was it a 3 out of 10?
3.5 ish, 4,
3.5.
yeah.
Okay.
So, I would say, unironically, it probably has the best action sequences of any of the Sony Spider-Verse films. Now, granted, that's not
Spider
saying
spin-offs.
spin-offs. Yeah.
Yeah.
Granted, that's not saying a lot. That's a low bar. Like that's
Yeah.
not. It's
Your
not. It doesn't have
competition
very
is the
stiff
3
competition.
Venom films, Madam Web and Morbius.
Which we talked about Morbius's action sequences and how like just like god awful they are, like 2 smoke clouds fighting in a dark
Mm-hmm.
sewer. At the very least, most of the action in Kraven happens in like brightly lit areas.
Yeah.
Like he's either like out on the like a giant plane or like in a well lit building or some shit.
and it was R, so like I think they just leaned into that a little more.
and they took that and
'Cause it
ran
was one of
with
the
it.
only things they had with this movie too.
And there were some gnarly kills too. Like I'll say a very
Oh, yeah.
brief spoiler thing. I think it was even shown in one of the trailers. But
Oh,
there
they
was
showed
like,
so many of these kills in the trailers.
yeah, they knew it was the only thing drumming up hype. But there's one like fight scene in the woods where he sets traps and there's this dude who like steps in one of the traps and it causes like a rope to tie around his leg and then it pulls him into like a giant like saw blade in
Yeah,
a
it was like
tree
a
stump.
blade.
They showed that in the trailer.
Yeah, I know. And it splits him in half and that was actually creative and like
Yeah.
brutal as hell. I was like, oh my god.
He started going fucking all Dutch on him in Predator.
Yeah, which is cool. Like there was actually some genuinely intriguing action sequences in this film, and I think like
But they're so
got
short-lived
creative
even
with-
when they happen.
When
like,
they
the
got
car chase was pretty good too. Like
Yeah.
when he was on the car and everything.
when they get creative
Spoiler
with their
alert.
action scenes, it does look good.
But
When
like
it's
the
just
other
generic
thing-
fighting, it's just generic.
Yeah.
and
But the other thing about those creative action scenes is I feel like they're so short-lived too. Where
Right.
like,
Yeah,
they
they-
really
exactly.
do. They're so quick when they
Yeah.
do get. It's almost like you get a glimpse of something like someone wafted something past you that smelled good, and then it's just gone.
Oh,
And
no.
You're back to
Yeah.
smelling shit
Like
again.
reaching
you
out.
know?
No, bring it back.
Oh,
Um,
walking past a Yankee Candle type moment. It's nice,
And then
nice.
you walk
Back
past
to the
that
small
dump.
smell. Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, you walk outside and there's like rotting trash next to you,
Yep.
which is the story and dialogue of this film.
Yep.
So that's another contributing factor to my rating is the
Well, I think that was going to be a given. And
That
like,
the writing
obviously
is
we'll
just
go more
characteristically
into
bad.
that, like that the
Yeah.
story and the writing are bad here. We'll go into that in a lot of
was-
ways. But like, did you guys think the pacing here was bad and stuff too? Like, I feel
Didn't
like the
have-
pacing for these movies, like. Maybe it's just because I'm always intrigued watching them. Like, I feel like if I watch them again, I'd be like, oh my God, I'm so fucking bored here. But, like, the pacing here, I think, was, like, weirdly, like I said, I think I like this the best out of any of these Sony Spider-Man spin-off ones. But I'm not trying to defend it because it is
No.
still shit.
I
Yeah.
do think you're right. I think like of all like the 3 things that I have to say positively about it are the action,
Yep.
the performances.
Even the acting, yeah, wasn't bad.
Of
but
Russell
the
Crowe.
writing was so
The
bad.
writing was terrible. They did
Like,
the best
some
they
of the
could.
dialogue and the writing between the characters was bad. But,
Uh-huh.
like,
Yeah.
I mean, it was the same thing with, like, some of these comic book movies recently, like Zack Snyder and stuff. Like, where it's
Right.
like, I think Ben Affleck is a good, or maybe even Henry Cavill are good as those characters, but the writing has always been terrible that they've gotten for these.
Dude, like remember when was it the Flash or like somebody saying to Batman like, "What's your superpower?" And he's like, "I'm rich."
yeah.
It's like Batman would never fucking
that-
say
That's
that.
a
that-
fucking Redditor joke right
or that-
there. That's an
or that
absolute
Guardians of the
Reddit
Galaxy humor.
or that he's gonna
Yeah.
kick Superman's ass because he's too good.
He's like,
or
that's
whatever.
just it. He's too good. It's like he won't fight back. That's how I can beat him. And it's
What?
like, whoa! It's like you're justifying you're gonna beat his ass because he's too good to fight back and kill
And that's
you
why
immediately.
he's like the
That's
ultimate
fucked up.
villain. Yeah.
Anyway, that's neither here nor there. There's more of that, just bizarre like
There's that sort of
justifications and
writing
stuff,
here,
and that
though,
sort of writing,
in ways. Yeah.
Not as prevalent as some like Madam Web, especially had just the worst
It does. It's
script
better
I
than
think
that.
I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah.
But again, not a low bar, or not a high bar. So
yeah.
like it's about as low as the bar is like on the floor. Like getting over that bar is basically like as easy as breathing.
And me and you are gonna always compare this to like the other Spider-Man spin-off films that they've done.
The
you know?
Anti-Hero Chronicles.
And the last one we literally
So
saw was I was gonna say Madam Web, but it was Venom actually.
Yeah, The Last Dance.
Yeah.
Mm.
God,
So
they released
forgettable.
3 this year.
And so
And
forgettable.
now it's over.
You don't remember? You don't like those memories?
Memories.
They released 3 this year, and now it's all over. I guess. Huh?
By the time Kraven's done in its box office run, which I envision will probably be like
3
maybe
weeks.
even before New Year's.
Yeah.
Like, depending on how bad
it's
it
gonna
does.
be in here for like 3 weeks. It's
Yeah.
gonna be out by like New Year, basically. Or
I'm curious to do a tally of the combined budget of Madam Web, Kraven, and Venom, and the combined box office gross. I'm sure it's going to be devastating.
Yeah.
Looking at how much money. And, dude, this has just been a bad year for Sony. Because Concord, remember Concord? Came out back in September. And it was out for a month.
Oh, yeah.
And then they shut it down because of how terrible it was. And there was, like, at one point, its peak player base was, like, 300 people.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh, that was a...
it's just been a bad year
Wow.
for Sony, dude. Or except for the fact that Astro Bot won Game of the Year.
I know. That's the one thing they got for going for
That's literally
right
the
now.
one thing they got going
the
for them.
sales for that probably still haven't been like anywhere near as good as Mario or
No.
like Halo or something like that.
But basically, all I mean to say is, like, this is just, like, it's just, like, a sunk cost fallacy for Sony at this point. Like,
Yeah.
the fact that they just, like, we're like, fuck it, just release it. Like, just get it out of the way. We're going to just let Disney do their thing and make us a bunch of money like we know they're going to.
It's
Like, when
Disney, guys.
When
Come
that
on.
Tom Holland Spider-Man film comes out, it's going to print money. It always does.
It's like
probably-
a 90%
Sony being
chance
the
we're gonna make
parasites that
money
they always
here.
are.
Yeah.
Parasitic Sony.
Like, it's going to hit $1 billion in the box office in, like, 2 weeks. We all know it.
But yeah, what other points? What about the
Visual
CGI?
effects,
Yeah.
terrible.
Yeah,
my God.
you know,
I
it
think
was
that's one of the worst
animals
things
looked
about the
fucking-
movie, right?
They looked like early 2000 CG
Yeah,
animals. I remember.
Yeah.
They just
It looked so bad. Like, and, like, let's look at what the fucking budget for this was.
And without going into spoilers, what they do with some of the villains that are in this movie that require CGI, my
Oh,
God,
God,
it
like
looks,
Rhino?
Yeah, it looks so bad.
Thank God
Which
he's-
Rhino? Yeah, that's not a spoiler, right? Because
No, he's in the trailer.
Yeah, it's in
Yeah.
the trailer and everything. But when you see Rhino in this and everything, oh my God! For anyone that was excited for that, like, what we talked about was like. The design looks, I think, actually pretty good and comic accurate, but it was going to be one of those things that never translated well to live action, I think, in a lot of ways. I don't know. You just have to be very specific with the design of it, at least, without it looking very goofy.
Yeah.
would
And here it looks kind of goofy, and it doesn't help that, like, you could tell they ran out of
And
budget.
it's, like, uncanny.
You could tell they ran out of budget
Yeah.
by the time they got to that third act, and he had to fully become Rhino, because you're like, oh my God. Not even by that point. When they were showing just his arm as Rhino early in the movie, you're like, that looks like shit.
Yeah. He had a skin condition.
No, yeah,
The-
that's literally the Rhino's origin story in this movie.
When they're showing, like, his face transform between the two phases, you're like, that looks terrible.
It all I kept thinking though when I was seeing that, I'm not gonna lie, I made the joke to snobs that was it just reminded me of Senator Armstrong for fucking Metal Gear
Nanomachine,
Revengeance.
son.
Yeah.
Nanomachine, son.
I didn't even think about that. That's funny.
that's
It's
what
not nearly as cool.
it just kept reminding me of that times. I'm like, no, definitely not as cool.
Yeah,
but
not even
it's like
close.
a knockoff version of that to me, where he's like, you see him doing that fucking same thing with his arm,
And
where
you
he's
see it, like, changing color
oh
and
yeah,
shit. Yeah.
you're like,
I wouldn't be surprised if they drew inspiration from that, to
And-
be entirely honest.
yeah, like the fucking thing reaching to his face, and his face suddenly becomes a little bit more chattily than
Even
it
the way
was.
he's
You're like, what
dressed.
the fuck?
Even the way he's dressed.
Yes.
He's got, like, the same haircut and the glasses and the button-up shirt and everything.
Yeah,
Like,
he's
it's
just
like,
a scrawnier version
he's
now.
a way
'cause-
scrawnier version. He's
Because
like,
our actual guy's a fucking.
he's like a twink
beefcake.
version of Senator Armstrong.
Oh my God.
Yeah, he would if he looked like the one from like Metal Gear, fucking Armstrong. He would not be being insulted by Russell Crowe.
No.
and it would not have started the whole plot to this
Wouldn't
whole
even
movie.
cared.
Rhino.
where Russell Crowe just insults the little twink Armstrong.
Yeah.
Well,
Gets all bitchy.
Yeah, what'd you guys think of the villains in this? Like, otherwise, like Rhino. We
I
can't
kinda
go into
liked-
some of them without going into spoilers, but I guess we can at least.
I
go
kind of
into
like the
Russell
assassin guy. You know
Crowe.
who I'm talking about.
Oh yeah, the one they called the Foreigner.
I was trying to
Foreigner.
avoid using his name.
Is that
It's his name.
Is that
There's
a
nothing
character
wrong-
from the comics?
It is, yeah.
It is. Okay.
Wait,
Wait, he actually is. I thought they made
Yeah.
it. Really?
Yeah, in fact, and as a matter of fact, the
Oh,
abilities that he displays are in fact his abilities in the comics. Like, he was actually quite comic accurate.
Can you actually go into the powers of it? Because I was actually more confused. Is he stopping time, or is it like a
No,
weird
it's like a
hypnosis
hypnosis
thing?
It's a hypnosis.
Okay,
so, like,
it is a hypnosis.
So he was a Spider-Man villain back in like the 80s.
Yeah.
And he's been around since then, being as kind of like a mercenary, kind of like neutral character to a degree. But he's like, the hypnosis thing isn't even explicitly a superpower. It's just something he can do.
Okay.
And otherwise, he's like supposed to be an incredibly skilled hand-to-hand combatant to the point where he's like fought Spider-Man Spider-Man. He's fought Spider-Man to a standstill on like several occasions.
Holy shit.
So he's kind of badass.
Okay.
He's like he's not used a lot these days, so I'm actually like shocked they put him in this movie.
Well, you know what I said this
Kind of weird introduction to him.
Yeah.
I said, you know, I thought he was actually one of the better villains in this movie.
Yeah,
Yeah.
He was
And
interesting.
he was like basically out of all the villains that are in this movie, which is about like 4, he's like number 4 basically.
Right.
And it's like
He
he
comes
should
in
have
the-
been number 1.
he
He
comes
was
in
actually
the-
probably the most interesting or had like actual powers and stuff to match Kraven.
He
and
comes
stuff
in the
too.
latest, and he's by far the most
Yeah.
impactful.
And
like, by far.
his action scene with
basically.
Kraven kind of sucked and everything too. But like I think if they had focused on that more, they could have done some really cool action stuff with that character.
Especially because not only that,
Instead, they did
like,
all these really
all right.
cheap scenes with that character. Where like I feel like that's literally like it was still cool and you were interested in that character when he came on. But ultimately, I was watching those scenes with the Foreigner and I was like, this is stuff I feel like we could literally
I'm gonna
do.
get-
Like
I'm gonna get into actual spoiler territory here because I want to talk about that.
Okay.
Because I had the same idea, like
Yeah.
the same thought as you, that he should have been the main villain.
Yeah.
Not only just because of how interesting he was and how like his actor was pretty good, but also his motivation
Much
Yeah.
better than anybody's.
better than
He had,
Rhino's
like-
that you saw in the
He had like a partner
Yeah.
as like a mercenary and assassin, and who was
Yeah.
kind of like his boss and partner, and Kraven fucking killed him.
no, exactly.
So he was like the only person out of all of these villains in the movie who was actually personally affected by something Kraven did
Yeah.
and had a reason for hunting him down.
You're right. Yeah, actually right.
And
That
he's
is
wicked
actually
OP,
only
and
one.
he's
Spot
wicked
on.
OP, but they basically just had to write it in this sort of way where he just like, I guess somehow couldn't track him basically, even though he can like hypnosis people and slow down time and shit. And it's
Well,
like
yeah, because Kraven was just
he's
so good
wicked
at what
OP.
he was doing.
Like he should be able to still track him down even if he's Kraven and everything. But like. It's like they just had to write it a specific way because, like I said, he's like the number 4 villain.
Right.
When if he was number 1, like
He's not supposed to be the main threat of the movie, even though
Exactly.
on paper he is.
yeah.
Oh yeah. And then
So yeah, I 100% agree that he should have been probably the main focus. Like I could see like a narrative structure of like his powers like hard countering Kraven's and like
But it's-
Kraven having to find a way to get around
Yeah.
this weakness of whatever. And,
Do you
know,
think
like,
this movie kind of suffers from like a Spider-Man 3 sort of situation though, or like
too many cooks?
There's too many villains,
Yeah.
and like
maybe yeah.
like
I think so.
actually a lot of them could be interesting or were kind of interesting, but then ultimately they're all half baked or half developed.
I think it's also like 2 of the villains that we see are kind of also more background. Like
Yeah.
Ooh, Russell
Should-
Crowe.
I was about to say, can I actually say like
Yeah.
there's the Russell Crowe and then
I'd say we've been pretty
Okay.
like vague about it. I'd say we
Yeah,
can
we've
like,
talked
spoiler
most
territory
about
now.
the movie, and even the spoilers we just gave weren't anything that's gonna ruin the movie for
Yeah.
anyone, or wasn't in the trailer and stuff.
Yeah.
Or I mean, Foreigner hasn't really been shown in the trailers and stuff,
At
but
all.
like that character is in this movie. We haven't really revealed much
talked-
about it.
what
I
about
mean,
the ending reveal type thing? Is that okay to fucking talk
yeah.
about?
So now we can go in the spoiler territory. Was what I was gonna say.
Chameleon.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. We ripped that Band-Aid off.
Yep.
So like the Russell Crowe and the Chameleon characters are more like Chameleon's like a last moment, basically almost like set up for another movie as if
They were trying
Yeah,
to
they gave
pull.
up.
They were trying
Yeah.
to pull a Harry Osborn with like the Toby movies, where they were like, "Oh,
He
we're gonna
finds
set
his
him
dad's
up.
glider
Yeah,
and
we're gonna
shit,
set him
yeah.
up for the next movie. His own brother is gonna be the villain in the next movie and everything." And I'm like, why do they always have to? I was telling this to Silas. I was like, why do they always have to write it in this sort of way where it's like he got pissed off at Kraven and everything?
he
For
just
some reason.
projected. He
Even though
projected.
Craven saved his life twice,
No,
yeah,
but
he
I was like,
projecting.
they
He's
could've-
like, "You're just like your dad." I'm like, "Dude, you became the dad."
yeah.
literally became him.
I was like, they could have done the same ending, but like,
Took over the business and everything.
like they could have done the same sort of ending, but like Kraven,
Would-
he doesn't get mad at Kraven maybe, but then Kraven just notices, oh shit, like
He's
that
getting
thing
evil.
changed my brother and everything.
So let's-
basically,
to add some
they always have to
context-
force this script or drama shit into the script, and I'm like, this is dumb.
To add some context, so basically Kraven and Dimitri, his brother, his half brother, because he's the bastard child of their dad, who's Russell Crowe's character. Their dad is like a big criminal warlord. They never actually explicitly discuss,
Say
I
what
think,
he
like what he
does?
does besides like maybe drug
Drugs.
peddling.
Drug
Yeah.
was
Yeah.
like that was
That's
like
it. There's like
later
you're
in the
a
movie
drug
too.
dealer. Like he like accuses him of that, and that's literally all you ever hear about like the family business. So I guess he's just some big shot like Russian drug peddler.
Yeah,
And
Kind of mid.
Yeah.
That's drug dealer.
why not make him
on
like
the
an arms
totem pole
dealer?
of crime
You know
lords.
what I mean?
it's
Make him like an
kinda
arms
lame.
dealer or something. He
Yeah,
seems,
arms dealer
He
would've been
seems
better.
the type,
But
and
they
he
killed
would,
the arms dealer right in the beginning.
make him fight.
apparently.
Make
Yeah.
him fight around the world.
So basically, like He was like, and he's like obsessed with he's obsessed. Like that's like Russell Crowe did the best he could with these lines, but like every other fucking line out of their dad's mouth is like, you cannot show weakness. You need to be strong. You're so weak. You are weak. You need to be strong like me. Stop being weak. Like literally everything he said.
Like he's somehow like an animal that like got put into a human's body or something.
It's just like it was so every fucking time they talk to him.
It's too much on the nose. It's very
extremely.
on the nose, yeah.
He's always waxing philosophic about being strong and not showing weakness, and it starts to just be like, all right, shut the fuck up, dude. Like
it's like that boss you have that tries to give you life advice, and you're just like, dude, shut the fuck up. You don't have to give me life advice every day.
You're 59 and you're a manager at Best Buy. Like why are you giving me life advice right now, dude? Like
you're a Russian drug peddler, Dad. Why are you trying to give me life advice?
They could have done more with just
or
showing
criticize
rather
what I'm
than
doing.
telling. But the thing is, it's almost entirely telling.
It's all exposition.
What, Russell Crowe thinks he's tougher just because he shoots fucking animals, which is the most like tough thing that you would see
Ever
him
see him
fucking
do.
do.
And
Maybe smack his kid, and you're like, oh wow,
cool,
real fucking big of you, bud.
I do love the one scene though where like, you know, he's trying to, he like goes to punch Kraven now that Kraven's like badass and has superpowers, and he just grabs his hand. He's like, you don't do that anymore.
Yeah, no, I'm like, all right, yeah, he was an asshole.
But then he still keeps trying to like alpha dog him. It's like, you understand this man could rip your spine out like the Predator, right? Like he's literally superhuman. You have nothing on him anymore. Anyway, that bugged me for sure.
Oh yeah, I agree.
But otherwise, like he was fine, you know.
Yeah.
But this was all just context for why like. And then after so spoiler alert, because we're there now. At the very end of the movie, like Kraven like summons a bear somehow, like he's a fucking hunter in World of Warcraft,
Aquaman, bro. He's Aquaman, but just with animals.
Yeah,
the land animals.
He summons a really shitty CG bear that comes and tears his dad apart, and like
don't forget summoning a horde of water buffalo.
And they had
in
really
Siberia.
run out of budget at that point, so they had to really zoom it out so they could barely put detail on the bear.
Yeah, it's like the worst CG bear I've seen. Like the Revenant bear from like almost a decade ago made that look like child's play.
It looks like a PS2 or 3 game.
Yeah, like polygons and shit. Yeah.
Don't forget his classic signature, the herd of shitty CGI water buffalo in Siberia.
Oh my god.
Dude, that final end scene was kind of one of those scenes of one of these movies, now that I'm thinking about it more, that just really pissed me off, too.
The
just
reveal.
him sitting in that chair and just like looking at his own cock.
Oh, and that's
looking
the
at his
other
own
thing.
cock in the mirror, like,
That's
wow, I love my abs and my... Wow, I look fucking hot in this outfit. Fuck, I want to fuck
that
myself
leads me to my
now.
next spoiler comment and my next gripe, but it's not a gripe so much as I'm like mad about it. I'm disappointed but not surprised. The fact that in all of the promotional material, Kraven is like wearing his like fucking his like iconic like tiger like lion vest.
Sony always does
the
this.
fur trimmed lion vest. Guess what? He doesn't get it until literally 99.8% of the way through the film.
It's just like those Madam Web posters, bro. Remember?
And he wears it for about 5 seconds and looks at himself in the mirror, and then the movie ends.
He just starts cranking it right in the mirror to himself.
It's just like, oh man,
dude, I look good in this.
Sony is so full of shit. Like, I feel
what
like
also wasn't in the fucking
they
movie?
they have like a fucking schemester doing these Sony Spider-Man villain movies, because like all of these are just like, what am I watching?
Do you remember the scene in the trailers when he's in the lion vest and he like lights the torch in the cave?
Yeah, that wasn't in there.
Not in the movie.
No, there's a lot of things from the trailer not in the movie.
It's not in the film ever. Like that looked like a interesting scene. It's like, whoa, what's Kraven doing in a cave wearing his lion vest and like lighting a torch? Like, is he going on some crazy adventure? Nope, not in the
Psych!
movie.
No, it's one of the other things I just
Not in the
remember
movie.
too. I remember when Silas said that to me, and I was thinking the exact same thing in my mind when this scene happened. That when there was the helicopter and he's like fucking got the thing, and he was
ladder,
like, wow, he has to have his Captain America moment, like where he's like oinking the helicopter and everything. I was like, dude, yeah, I was literally. It was like right as he said that to me, I was literally like, my brain was thinking the exact.
It's
like,
not even half as cool.
Yeah. I was just like, that was exactly what I was thinking. Like, you're just trying to have this be his oink scene. Look at him oink this helicopter.
I feel like they also like intentionally kind of nerfed him down even during that thing where he's holding onto the net like in the water. Because I'm like, after we've been seeing this motherfucker just jumping from building to building
and
constantly,
like whipping
why
a
the fuck
bulletproof window out of a car
when he got
door.
shit whipped off the water, and that CGI looked terrible.
Yeah, why couldn't he climb up the fucking rope? He had every opportunity.
Like, this man
could
punched a bulletproof window on an SUV so hard that he broke it off the hinge and then he tore it off.
Yeah.
It's like he's clearly fucking yoked. Like, he's extremely strong. You're telling me he can't lift his own body weight up a ladder?
Did you have any respect for this movie not like going into like the love interest area.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think it was necessary.
That's
Yeah.
what I'm saying. I kind of appreciated that a little bit
Great-
because I swear to God, I was watching at the beginning. I'm like, I can make this chick fucking.
That's kinda how it is in the-
The
Him and
Calypso
Craven
chick,
are
yeah.
gonna hook up.
Dude, she-
Calypso and
That's how
Craven
it
are
is in
gonna
the
hook
comics
up.
too. Calypso is just more of like his kind of like a partner.
Okay.
Not really like a love interest.
Okay.
Yeah,
She just hooks him up with
I
the
just get
potions,
so
like,
sick
keeps
of
him
that in
calm.
these movies.
It's just kind of funny that it felt like they used her in the beginning for her main purpose of giving him the potion power, I
Yep.
guess, the healing, which also kind of vague. Is it the potion that gave him the power, or is it the lion blood that apparently was
Or was
going
it both?
in his blood while
I
getting
think
the
they
potion
tried
or
to
something?
portray it as being like some mixture of both.
like
because
the
if you
lion
got, like, the
biting him.
Because if it's the
and
potion, why the hell is
potion.
Calypso's family not a bunch of fucking roided out, like, awesome fighters like Kraven was?
Right.
Why
yeah,
is it
I
only
think-
Kraven?
I
Is it
think
because the only thing I could think of was the lion's blood fucking apparently going in his wound
I
after
think
lion
it
mauled
does
him?
try to imply it's like some weird combo of both because you see like the lion DNA like mixing with his or whatever,
Which looked stupid.
which is so bad. Yeah. Again, more shitty visual effects.
Radioactive fucking lion.
Dude, did you see that line? That might have been fucking. You might have been dosing up on
Oh,
some.
that thing! Yeah, that thing was fucking. That was a dude.
It was like a Red Dead
That's-
It
Redemption.
was the
like,
size of a polar bear.
that was like a Red
That
Dead
is-
Redemption legendary animal.
Dude, that was
Yeah.
a boss battle in the Cabela's fucking hunt game.
Yeah. You've seen that thing running around in the fucking savannah. You're like, oh my god.
It's like absolutely just terrifying for everyone. Like, oh no.
That was, I think that one was actually one of the least. That was probably where most of their fucking CG budget went. Was that
That
lion?
lion.
That specific lion near the
Yeah.
beginning of the film. It
It
actually
did look
looked
pretty decent.
It looked decent.
It looked like they maybe like went to Disney because they let them do.
Help us,
Spider-Man.
ILM.
You're doing lion. You're doing a fucking.
Mufasa, right?
Yeah,
It
exactly.
did look like Mufasa, like
Yeah.
a fucking.
Can we
fucking
borrow
scene.
that model, please?
When
Dude,
you're
I
asking
thought
them to
the
copy
same,
your
exact
homework.
same thing. I'm like,
Sony's outside. It's a rainy
I
day.
literally made
Sony.
that joke. I'm like, dude, it's Mufasa.
It's a rainy
snubs.
night. Sony standing outside your door, crying like at the window with like a
Disney.
sign.
Can we borrow the Mufasa model,
Yeah.
please?
Fine.
It's the last
Fine,
thing
just-
we'll ask for, I promise.
Just don't copy it exactly. Like change it up a little bit.
okay, we'll make it big and give it like scars and
We'll give
shit.
it more scars.
Dude, wait, that's just Scar. Oh, can we borrow the Scar one
Okay,
actually?
we'll give him like a gray mane instead of a black one.
Fine, borrow the scar one. Just don't copy this exactly.
Okay.
I'm gonna give it roids.
Okay, I'll get rid of less scars.
This is my GMO lion. His name is
Yeah,
shit. What's his name?
What do they call
the tyrant?
What do they call him in the movie? It had a name.
The Tsar. The
Czar.
The Tsar was the Tsar.
Yeah. They call him like the Czar because he was like apparently so badass. Like people have been trying to hunt it for like ages, and it just killed. It killed like
Of
20
course,
to
that's the one
30
that
men or
gives
something.
Kraven his powers.
Yeah,
It
like
doesn't kill him. It just like gives him up.
it actually like saves him. It like
Yeah.
brings him to Calypso and just like they also poorly explained that.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
this lion.
Like, why the fuck did that
seeks out
happen?
Calypso and is like, here
Dude,
you go.
yeah.
You're
The
a
lion-
kid that almost died.
Yeah,
I'm
remember the
saying,
lion still
stupid.
mauled him like almost to
Yeah,
near
that's
death
what I'm saying.
itself.
It's like, why did it just okay?
It's like okay, he mauled me. He was like, actually, I'm not gonna kill him. Hey,
I think the-
you want it, bitch?
It felt
You
bad.
want
It
this
felt
guy?
bad.
I think the concept is like it got spooked or something, or it's like trying to test him. I don't know.
If it was like
it was kind of
if it was like
kind
a-
of baked. To
Well,
be
if it
honest.
wasn't,
Very
if
baked.
the lion was testing him and it was like, I need to see if he's strong. The lion did kill him when it did it though, and it was the potion that brought him back. So it's like, I don't. It just doesn't make any sense
Weird,
to
yeah.
me.
Yeah.
Sony writing.
There's
But
a lot
yeah,
of
so
a lot of
writing
that shit didn't
writing
make
is
sense.
very bad here.
Yeah.
Dialogue is very bad here. There were some scenes with him and Calypso. Like there was some stuff Calypso said at one. Didn't I look at you and I was like,
Three motherfucker.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's what I was trying to get at.
I was
with
like,
this.
her,
I just remembered.
her
when I got
line,
that.
her
It was a-
line delivery for some of this, and even Aaron Taylor Johnson's, but especially her, I was like, oh my
Bro,
god.
I just remembered. I was going to talk about like how Calypso felt really, like in the beginning, did her one part, then she was acting like basically info type of gathering type of
She was hardly
character.
a character of her
Yeah,
own.
and
She
then
was
it
just there
felt
to
like-
drive the plot.
And then I felt like they literally gave her that last, her killing the foreigner spoiler.
And she just disappeared.
Yeah, and then or it's like just killing the foreigner and that was it. And it's like,
Gone.
yeah, gone. She,
No, she was literally a plot device as a character. Which the fact that she's like female and that's what they used her for is
And
just
it
like
wasn't
hilarious.
a love interest thing either.
Yeah.
It's like, wow, okay. Well,
Like classic Sony storytelling to be like, all right, we need to give Kraven like a morality pet, so we're gonna give him like this chick that he's friends with, and she's not gonna really do anything of substance. She's just gonna be there to drive the plot forward.
Yes, exactly. That's
I was like, wow, that's like a terrible use of her character, but whatever.
No.
When he's literally a hunter and can hunt people down, so he really actually doesn't even need her in a way. Like,
Yeah.
you kind of didn't even have to write her in, but you just decided, like, plot-wise or script-wise, we kind of need this character to make some of these things make sense, how the plot moves forward, but god damn, this movie was so stupid, you really didn't need her in a way.
I think, weren't we also talking about before, too, how they changed Kraven from being actually the big hunter of everything and where he goes to humans because he can't hunt anything else to now the
He became
protector
like
of nature.
He was like a conservationist.
Yeah.
I gotta say,
he became Android 17 from Dragon Ball
I
Z.
don't entirely mind that take on the character, like very much. I really don't think that's too crazy.
Well, especially when we're at this age now where it's like multiverses and stuff, a lot of time I just view these things where it's like, okay, it's kind of just a different multiverse. Like, this is this multiverse's
like
take
the idea
on
of
this
like
character, basically.
The idea of like Kraven seeing like humans as the most dangerous like game, and him like protecting the nature from them, and he's like hunting down more and more powerful humans.
No, I think
I think like actually
I think
fits
it
his
could be
character.
fine. Ultimately, it was stupid as shit here.
That's
but
'cause they
like
just handled it.
exactly.
I mean, to
but
me, it just feels weird because
it could
I don't
be
know.
done
It's
okay.
one of those. It's one of those things that I always have a weird thing grasping of. Yeah, it's bad to kill like the animal, and like I get like poaching's bad and everything, but then in the response to that is literally just killing other humans and stuff to make up for that type of thing. Always seems odd. Kind of seems like a weird moral problem at times for me.
Sort of, but I think the idea is that we are top of the food chain and don't have to kill these things. And if we do, they're going to go extinct. Whereas, like, you kill 10 humans and the population's going to be fine.
I mean, I get that. I mean, it
Not that
probably.
I'm trying to make a
no,
moral
I get you.
equivalency,
No, I
but-
get. I feel like it would have been better too because there's like the moment when the poachers are. Like when they meet the guy and they're like the kid, or like in the beginning when he was a kid and stuff like that, and they're like actually like, "Hey kid, get out of here."
Yeah.
They're just trying. They're actually like trying. It's if they were trying to actually overly aggressive, like kill him,
like,
that'd
aim
be
a gun
one
at
thing.
him,
But then like they're like, "Hey kid, get out of here. This isn't your problem." And then his response is literally just absolutely maul the shit out of them. Felt a little extreme in a way.
Yeah.
I understood like maybe getting rough with them and
that's why he's-
beating up some of them, but not.
I mean, to be fair, the movie doesn't exonerate him for that. Like,
Well,
Calypso literally calls him crazy.
Well,
Yeah,
you want to
she
know?
does call him-
Well, you want to know why it was also handled this way too? There's no Spider-Man in this movie,
Right,
So they
yeah.
have, and it's
Shocker.
It's a Kraven movie where it's an entire movie about him, so they have to write it. In
Dude,
a
he's
way
afraid of spiders.
Where there's no Spider-Man
Oh, yeah,
now.
that's right.
Dude, remember how
Oh,
like
yeah.
remember how
I forgot about
had to have that little scene.
so there's like a scene like the foreigner, that character we talked about earlier, uses like this like serum, I guess. It's like a poison, and he pumps Kraven
the
full
darts?
of it. Yeah, because
Yeah.
Kraven's like, he's like, well, no bullet's gonna kill him, so I have to use something stronger. He's like, it's just like the KGB used to use this. It's like this venom, and it's like first it makes you see visions of like your worst fears, and then it induces like hypoxia, and then you die painfully.
Yeah.
And so he hits Kraven with this, and Kraven starts like tripping balls basically and like hallucinating shit. And he's like hallucinating his mom in like a psych ward, like going like the spiders, and he starts like
his
seeing
best John
spiders. Like,
Bernthal impersonation. No.
and he's like seeing spiders crawl all over himself. And I was fucking with Liam. I kept looking at him like, dude, get it? He's afraid of spiders, dude. It's like Spider-Man, who he's never gonna meet because they're not making any more of these.
No, exactly.
Explains why he wants to hunt Spider-Man.
But also, but that's just like making him afraid of spiders just makes no fucking sense because like his whole thing is he goes after Spider-Man in the comics because he sees Spider-Man as like his ultimate like prey.
Yeah, a worthy
like
not
a
because
worthy
he's afraid.
hunt. Yeah, not because he's afraid, but because he wants to test himself.
It just
against-
shows they don't know what the fuck they're doing.
So
They
this
had
one-
to have some sort of reference in there.
Yeah.
But how are they going to include it? They probably, I don't know. They had to
did
have some
not
reference,
need to.
but
No
they
one
didn't
is
need
gonna
that.
give
Yeah.
a fuck.
No, it was so like heavy-handed, like you said, like you guys both
But
said.
then,
That
like-
it's like so many things are just exposition and not show, don't tell.
The Chameleon and Russell Crowe and like Foreigner, Rhino. I just think all these were very disappointing.
Rhino,
kind of like I
fucking-
said, Spider-Man 3 sort of situation where none of them were able to be fully developed because kind of interested with each of them in a way, but then so underdeveloped and half cooked because they are juggling so many things.
We didn't even talk about Rhino's motivation, the shitty motivation
in a
less
less than 2 hour movie.
Kraven called me weak.
Yeah,
so now I'm going to fuck him.
His main motivation, it's like fucking Kraven's dad called me a pussy at fucking when we went on a hunting trip. He called me a nobody.
And some of the scenes,
fucking now I'm salty. I'm gonna be forever. I'm just gonna.
Some of the scenes with him were just laughable.
Shit.
Oh my god, especially. Yeah. So.
Oh yeah, dude. He had like an autistic screeching moment for a fucking second. I'm like, wait, what?
Yeah, like the entire theater. The entire theater laughed during that moment.
Yeah,
like, I've heard other
like,
people. I've heard from other people that like this is one of those movies that people are laughing in the theater and shit, and it's just like there's just so many things that just come out of left field where you're like, what?
Yeah.
Rhino screaming Kraven.
Oh my god, that was
and their big action third act battle scene,
that
CGI
was like
battle
the
scene.
cheesiest shit I've ever seen. And sometimes cheesiness is like, if it's done on purpose and it's invoked in a certain way, it's like good.
Yo,
you know, like for example, like Avengers Endgame, Captain America yelling "Avengers Assemble" is like objectively cheesy as fuck.
Yeah.
But it's done in such a way and it's delivered so well that you don't care. It's like awesome and it's hype. This is just cheesiness.
Oh yeah,
that's
it's
just
like superhero cheesy.
And you're just like sitting back and you're like, Jesus, that was tough to watch.
No, exactly.
Like,
but yeah, I think in most regards, besides maybe action, which is still like I said, like a 6 out of 10 or something maybe. When that's like being generous.
Still way better than all the other ones.
It's better than the other Sony Spider-Man spin-off ones, and if you like Spider-Man villains, you get, all those ones we mentioned and everything. But Aaron Taylor Johnson,
store versions of them, but you get them.
Yeah, and maybe good actors, but not good writing or script. Same thing with Aaron Taylor. He's a great actor, but not good. He's not that good as the character.
Can't save the script.
Yeah.
And he doesn't even fit the character, so it just doesn't work. But like, I think this is one of those movies you shouldn't pay money in theaters to go see.
No, absolutely
and
not.
Don't support these movies.
No hate watching.
There's so many superhero.
No hate watch.
So many superhero things now, where like it's just like pick and choose. You really should, because you got DC, Marvel, Sony, Marvel, independent
Go
stuff
see War
like,
of the Rohirrim.
Yeah,
go support that.
That's
that
the
shit
better
was fire.
movie this weekend.
That was amazing.
That was fun.
I liked it a lot.
So go see that, especially because we want to support animation too.
Exactly.
Yeah.
A lot of people are like, it's been more popular nowadays, but still people take it for advantage. And I wish an R-rated Marvel movie, I could be praising it right now, because Deadpool was so good this year. But this is shit, and this is those bad R-rated Marvel movies.
I think this further proved the fact that
movies.
even though we're shitting on Kraven, but still praising the fact that some parts of it. Just think about if the Venom were all rated R too. They probably would have been.
Oh, those would be the best.
Yeah,
we'd be saying those are the best right now. And Kraven is second.
If they didn't have to half bake and hold back like everything they want to do, like they clearly are. Like they clearly are just holding back so much in those movies. It's like painful.
And these movies are so. These movies, like I said, like I don't think people should be fighting over which one's the best. These sort of Sony Spider-Man spin-off ones, they're all so interchangeable.
Right.
Like I think because I've heard so many different opinions. Like, oh, Morbius is the worst. No, Madam Web is the worst. Now people are gonna say Kraven is the worst.
In their own way, they're all the worst.
Exactly.
They're all shit.
They're all shit.
Aspects
so guys, let's not fight about
worst.
it. Let's just be glad it's over.
Right.
On that note,
we're at a prison.
At that note, I don't think we really have much more to say about this film.
No,
right?
I've aired everything out. I think
we got our free bottle openers.
Yeah.
Yep.
So
I think I made myself
Sony sent
abundantly
us
clear.
off. Sony sent us off in fashion. But hopefully better futures with Sony from here, with next one probably being Beyond the Spider-Verse, right?
If that ever gets fucking made.
And then well, I guess the next thing will be Spider-Man Noir with Nick Cage then.
That's right.
Yeah.
So let's hope
Cage.
Let's hope the Nicky Cage
Actually pumped for that.
starts off a good.
That's supposed to be rated R, right?
I think so.
Yeah.
Let's hope that starts off a good new start for them. And
oh, dude, I hope one of the opening
everything.
scenes is just Spider-Man Noir just like murdering people.
That'd be
Like, imagine how some Spider-Man with a gun in the 1920s just going absolutely ham on a bunch of criminals and just murdering them. Like, that would be crazy.
That would be sick.
That would be insane.
Craven it.
Craven it.
You get Nicolas Cage's fucking crazy acting too. It's just gonna be actually funny to me. It's just gonna be bad.
He's gonna eat it up.
Oh,
Eat it
yeah.
up. I feel like if it's got good writing, that's all it needs. And it's gonna be fun.
in a good way.
Yeah.
You gotta eat it up.
We've seen Nicolas Cage can do a good job as long
Absolutely.
as it's like good writing
And I think-
stuff like that. But he puts so much effort.
Maybe
into
these
his
sort of
acting,
problems
even if
Sony's
it is
having of
shit movie.
overstuffing it with villains and everything. Maybe a TV show they can actually do those sort of things and it'll work because they can let that flesh out. That's
Let
what a
stuff
TV
breathe.
show can
Yeah.
do and everything. So, yeah, I think let's hope for a better future here because at least this Sony Spider-Man spin-off universe
It's
shit seems
donezo.
to be done. But let's just hope their Spider-Man stuff they put out from now on, they put a lot more work into. And
I'll tell you one
and
thing
thought.
that it already has going for it. It's going to actually have Spider-Man in it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's a huge
Yeah.
fucking step in the right direction.
They've been cock teasing us throughout this entire spin-off one.
Peter.
Like he's gonna face
Madam
off
Web, dude.
like Kraven or Venom's gonna face off against one of them, and then they just do this bullshit they've done to us. So yeah, actual
When-
Spider-Man.
When they put
Can't
Tom
wait.
Hardy in the MCU for 5 seconds and just yanked him back. Just kidding.
Venom symbiote's there. Oh wait, actually no, it's not. No, that was in the Venom universe. I don't know. There was no point to that. Basically, fuck you.
So dumb.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Thanks for joining
Dan.
us, Pose. And I'm Leon.
I'm Silas.
Thanks for joining us on Spoiled It, guys. We'll see you on the next one.
spoiled it.
Later.
Peace.